Hello, good afternoon, Halftime TV viewers and subscribers. Welcome to another episode. And today I'll be talking about the Reggae Girlz. And I know this has been brewing for quite some time, and a lot of folks have shared their opinions. Oftentimes, the JFF receives the blunt force of our criticisms. But I'll be sharing my 2 cents on the matter in a couple of minutes. Before I go any further, big shout out to the sponsors, Quicklink Shipping. Anything you need whatsoever shipped into the island, Quicklink Shipping has you covered. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget, smash the subscribe button. Please leave a comment down in the comment section. And 9 out of 10 times, I'll get back to you on those comments as well. So I invite you to share your thoughts and let me know if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I like when folks challenge my line of reasoning, because then it basically provides you with an opportunity to look at things from another perspective. All right. So again, big shout out to everyone who's tuned into the channel. If you're new to Halftime TV, welcome as per usual. So back to the matter at hand. The Reggae Girlz, the JFF, some of our senior Reggae Girlz, they've basically boycotted the national setup, and this has been going on for quite some time now, a couple of months to say the least. They were in Toronto last year, played against Canada. They lost. When they got back home, everything kind of changed. The coach lost his job. Xavier Gilbert took over. Long story short, number of our senior girls have refused to play for Jamaica since that game against Canada at the BMO Stadium last year. Now, it has recently come to light that the Jamaica Football Federation owes the Reggae Girlz, what, $2,000? Basically, that's the argument that has come to light. But my thing is, and hence the reason for the title of this video, the Reggae Girlz are currently losing in the court of public perception. What do I mean by this? Since this entire ordeal, we haven't heard anything from the Reggae Girlz or from any representative from the Reggae Girlz side. I think them going about their business in this manner, it makes it difficult for us, the regular fans, to be sympathetic or to share any level of sympathy for what they're going through. Why? Because we don't know what they're going through. All right, multiple platforms, including mine. We've had the likes of Dennis Chung on here. We've had different affiliates of the female program, most of whom have come from the side of the Jamaica Football Federation. Now, we haven't heard from anyone whatsoever, and correct me if I'm wrong, but personally, I haven't heard from anyone from the Reggae Girlz side. I think we heard a small interview from Sidella Marley when she decided to step away, but it didn't really go into the nitty-gritty, as Jamaicans would say, of the matter. We didn't really get a big picture or the entire picture of what was happening behind the scenes. A lot of the fans of Jamaican football, or of Reggae Girlz as well, they've come up with a theory that the Reggae Girlz are basically trying to get rid of the current administration. Now, when the girls were in Toronto a couple of months ago, I spoke with a few of them, and they shared their dissatisfaction with how things were handled. I won't share those on here, obviously, but do I think this was enough to brew a full-on boycott from the national team? No, I think those issues could have been handled behind closed doors. They could have been sorted out, and I expected them to be sorted out, obviously, by now. I didn't really see the team and the national setup going into this direction that it's currently going. But what I will say again, the availability of the Jamaica Football Federation to answer questions and to give interviews and to speak on the matter, it has done the world of good for the JFF. And I don't usually come here and give the JFF a round of applause, because 9 out of 10 times they get things wrong. But in this particular matter, I must say they have earned themselves a stripe on the shoulder how they're going about their business in this one. They're aiming for transparency, and I know throughout the years, corruption has been that cloud hanging over the Jamaica Football Federation, where the least anything happens, as soon as something happens, the first thing the fans, we go to is they're corrupt and them robbing up money, and whomever is responsible, they're not paying who should be paid, and they're holding on to funds, or they're misplacing funds, putting into their own coffers, etc. The list goes on and on and on, right? But in this particular situation, the Jamaica Football Federation, and I can see, I won't say they've done their best, but I can see genuine efforts to be as transparent as possible as it relates to the allocation of the funds coming from the World Cup, the per diem, etc. All of that. There have been a lot of efforts to be transparent around how the monies were handled and the monies that were paid out to the Reggae Girlz. The Reggae Girlz initially said that there were some discrepancies with the payments, and they said they'd review the books and come back. Apparently, they've come back, and it was only $2,000 that was short. So, is $2,000 enough, or is that question mark of, hey, I feel as if there is some discrepancy with the books, and as such, I won't play, sorry, for the Jamaican team until that is resolved. Mind you, that's a big question mark answer, because you feel like something's there. You're not going to play. You're not going to play. You're not going to play until that is resolved. But again, going back down to it, you're not sure. So basically, you're boycotting based on a gut feeling rather than actual evidence. And I think that showed right there when they said that they're not going to play, they're going to review the books first, and then they're going to come back afterwards to the table. That showed that they didn't have a genuine reason as to why they weren't playing for the Reggae Girlz, or it actually meant that they had a bigger reason. So it could be one of two things. Either they didn't have a genuine reason, or the reason was beyond what they were making it out to be. Big up yourself, Quick Link Shipping boss. S Technic Skip, JFF is nowhere as corrupt as you guys think it needs to stop. You guys, again, I'm just working with the information that's out there in the public. All right. I don't have any information to suggest the Jamaica Football Federation is corrupt. Folks have said it, and that's what I'm saying here. We've heard the narrative that the Jamaica Football Federation is corrupt, they're misplacing funds, etc. But, and I'll get back to the point because I don't want to stray too much from it, right? The fact that the Jamaica Football Federation, and I will say this before I even go into the Jamaica Football Federation bit, because currently, especially in today's age, perception depicts reality. So what a person perceives, that oftentimes goes on to depict their reality. What do I mean by this? If you don't come out and dispel those rumors or the misinformation that's out there, then someone will bank on the information that they have available to them, right? If blue is the only color, every car you see that passes, you're gonna say it's blue. However, if someone comes out and say, okay, this is red, this is green, this is yellow, then you will have others to pick from, and then you basically have more options when you're making your opinions. All right. And that may not be the greatest of analogy, but I expect you to get the idea. When there is a narrative out there and you as an entity or an organization or as an individual, you refuse to come out and say anything about it, especially if aspects of that narrative may be true or sound close to what the actual truth is, then you risk it being what you're perceived as, right? And the Reggae Girlz right now, them failing to come out or to send anyone out whatsoever since the start of this I don't even know what to call it. They've disadvantaged themselves. What do I mean by that? Us, the regular well-thinking public, we're not going to show that same level of care or passion or sympathy or towards them. We're not going to sorry for them, put it simple. We won't be sorry for them because we realize that they're clutching at straws based on information that's available to us. Now, if someone from the Reggae Girlz team were to come out and say, okay, Halftime TV or whomever, Sportsmax or what have you, this is the actual situation. This is what's happening. This is what has been happening. Then we can actually lean on that argument and say, oh, this makes sense and this explains that and that explains that. But until then, I think it's going deeper and deeper into a ditch. And until someone from the Reggae Girlz team come out and say something, then it will continue to spiral downwards. All right. So again, that's my view. Let's hear what you guys have to say. Currently, the JFF is actually beating the Reggae Girls in the court of public opinion because they're making information available to the public. The Reggae Girls, they're not saying anything. They're tight-lipped. We don't have anything whatsoever from their side, and I think that is concerning. If you are seeking the public's assistance into making a point or to taking a stance or whatever it is, because they will need some assistance. The Jamaica Football Federation now has shown that they can bank on other girls. The same way they went out and they got this group of Reggae girls together to play for Jamaica, because remember, most of these girls, they're not even based in Jamaica. All right, but we went out and we got them from different clubs around the world, I must say, or from different areas around the world, and we got them to represent Jamaica. 2 World Cups later, they're on top of the world, and they're fighting against Jamaica Football Federation. But again, what are your thoughts, folks? In the court of public opinion, where do you stand? Do you think the Reggae Girls still have a case now that it has been revealed that there is only $2,000 owing? So, quite frankly, the argument that you're not playing for the national team because of non-payment of monies, that goes through the window since it's only $2,000 outstanding. So yeah, what are your thoughts on everything that's happening with Jamaica Football Federation and the Reggae Girls? Let me know down in the comment section. And don't forget, smash the like button, subscribe to Halftime TV if you haven't yet done so. Check out Quick Link Shipping as well for everything you need shipped into the island. They have you covered. They're fine. They don't need your support or partnering to the JFF. Reggae Girls are busy making their own money while you're here crying for them to speak to up and running. Well, I don't need them to speak to me. I don't need to speak to them to speak to me. It doesn't matter. I don't need to say anything because each time they come out, the JFF is a different thing, and it becomes a back and forth. All right. Yeah, they don't need to speak to me. They need to speak to Jamaica Football Federation, right? Because the fans are actually asking or begging for them to play. And they're not coming to play, but they're not giving a clear reason either. All right. So for clarity, folks, I don't really need them to speak to me. They don't need to speak to me, but they need to speak to the JFF. So the fans who are begging for them to play can actually have a real reason as to why they're not playing, because the non-payment of salaries, the communication breakdown, all of that, it doesn't really make sense right now because we don't see genuine reasons behind it. All right. So again, big shout out to everyone. Remember, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. Until next time, peace out.